What? What?
Happy Sunday.
Hey y'all, what up? Welcome to So You Don't Put Syrup on Your Grilled Cheese. We are two real life cousins, and you can tell because we're matching.
See?
Clearly.
Who knew? Kim felt there was going to be a shoulder
I
moment.
knew I had to get the shoulder action together. So I was like, let me get my shoulder shirt so that I can be prepared and ready. And you can probably also tell by the hair, I really feel like
let's go. Oh my God. You want to see it on the show? Drop down in the comments. Let us know.
Wow. I thought you were going to be like, girl, take a beat.
Girl, please. Why would I ever say that?
Yeah, but this morning I was like, this is a lot of hair. I know, but
and that's
so
exactly
much.
when you cut it too, when you're like, that's so
cute. It is a lot. It's a lot. And I had to because I got all kind of pins and stuff up in here because it was, I'm like, I want to bang, but it's too long. And I was like, oh, now we got to do like a mohawk type situation because it'd be a lot.
Cut it. I mean, I literally just cut my own hair the other day. So
what you did?
I cut it.
Cut it how and where?
Yeah. I cut probably 2-3 inches off of it.
Did you?
Yes, ma'am. Hold on.
What inspired you to do that?
It was just long. It was too long. It was too long and it was not doing right. It was looking dry. It was not. And then it was on the sides because it was so long. Then they were starting to do this.
Oh, so you want more of the stand straight up action?
I mean, stand straight up. I probably cut this a little shorter than I liked because I did enjoy the little fringe bang that I had going on. But I'm not mad at it. It's all getting used to it though because I got my sides cut,
right,
and this is lower than I normally would.
Oh,
so when I did that and then I cut this, I was like,
different.
But I realized in the fact that there's no mistakes in life at this point, it's perfect for if I want to go get my braids. Because then I can do, because it's cut up high, which is exactly where it needs to be if I just do my braids on the top.
I saw a super cute style. I don't even remember where it was. It might have been on Instagram. I don't know. But anyway, because I thought about doing it because I was like, maybe if I do that, then I won't cut my hair. But it was the braids and the mohawk. So she had 4 rows here, or maybe 4 or 5, 6, I don't know. But individuals right here. And then when she split it down the middle, it just looks like individuals. But then when she flipped it to the side, it was like an intricate,
I saw that.
Flipped it to the outside. Oh Lord, that might be it.
That's it.
Because my thing be, I don't really be wanting my hair in my face for real. But then I get tired of having to put head wrap it all or get all the pins in the world to try to get it together. So I really do feel like braids are probably in the future, but there's a really great braid place here. Ooh, and it's really inexpensive.
I'm a fan of both of those things.
Yeah. So anyway, if y'all want more hair talk, let us know. Actually, somebody had commented in the Patreon and they were like, I love your hair. I would love for you to talk about it. And I was like,
people want to know.
I'll figure out how to do that.
You might not be here.
I really, by the time I turn 50, or probably when I turn 50, I'm gonna shave it all off because I've never done bald.
Oh, okay. I mean, I went short, but
how short is short?
Like short, probably this.
Okay. Yeah, mine was that short too when I first. Because I chopped my hair when I did it the first time in the bathroom at 1 a.m.
Hey,
because I was about to get some braids, and I was like,
I'm over this.
Over it. I'm not about to. But that's what be getting me is that detangling. That's when I really be like, okay, now
we're done.
I will cut you off.
Because the braids will make me cut it because I usually will have one, I don't want to be there forever. But I also typically would get curly styles. And so my hair, they'd have to braid down so far that then it would take the curls out. So then I just would put it up in a ponytail and just cut off them and be like, all right, now you can do it. Just go grow back. It's fine.
I understand. I'm not
through a full and I just want you to know I saw them. I would like to hear what they were.
Because I get it, that it's just hair.
Right.
And it'll grow back. I totally get that. it was the where you were like, yes, I just pull over the ponytail, and, just okay, yeah, cool. Because at first I was trying to process, okay, they braid it down too far. So then I thought you were gonna say that you just like chop the braid off when it's time to take it out.
Oh no, I'm talking about to get it done.
Gotcha.
Because I want like the look I want. I want
Yeah.
the fullness, and I don't want to have to sit there forever because they have to braid so much further.
So you just give them a switch. You're like, here
you go.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's really something. All right. But hair does grow back. So if you are somebody who's like super tied to hair,
don't be.
It grows.
It's fine.
It's okay.
It'll be fine.
So yeah. So this is so you don't put syrup on your grilled cheese. And we sometimes take detours because we have sorry, we gotta touch the ADHD,
all of it,
all the things.
We on all the spectrums.
So we just be getting on buses and we just be going wherever it goes. But there's
a point.
There's a point. There's always a point. And we come back. So, but anyway, so we're cousins, y'all, in real life, and we grew up in our life thinking that a lot of things were normal, and we didn't realize that it wasn't. It was actually a lot of dysfunction. So then we were like, let's get on the podcast and talk about it, and let's normalize having these kind of conversations. So we're here to unpack it and see what all the things are. And we invite y'all along with us on this journey. This is interactive, right? So we do stream live. We're streaming live on YouTube and Facebook right now. In a moment, I'm going to make sure that it's shared in all the places. But I'm going to ask you right now to please share with somebody because it's a good time today. We have a really good show for you all. So my name is Kimberland, Thailand. First of her name. I never say that, but I am. House of O'Neill Jackson Adams, empathetic energizer, intuitive, inspirational, innovator, seer of souls who are hurting, healer of hearts, and voice to the voiceless.
Hey. A moment for Kimberland, please, and thank you.
Appreciate y'all. I would do the air horn, but I don't have nothing up that I'm supposed to have up right now. And hopefully the damn sound.
The sound. Y'all, we be trying. I'm Kalonda, first of her name, assistant of entrepreneurs, beacon of banter, creator of content, dancer of dreams, excellence, enchantress, and NOLA native.
I love when you do that.
I feel like it just brings it all together. It just really does.
Exactly.
So we just want to thank you guys for coming in to hang out with us. The only things that we ask from you are one, engagement. So by all means, drop down in the comments, say hey, say where you're watching from. If you have questions, feel free to pop them in there. We're checking them as we're on here. We also ask for your respect and transparency. So by all means, also understanding that we are not experts. We are experts in a lot of things, but not all the things. So we're on this journey and we want you to come along with us as we kind of unpack it, figure out what's going on and the best way to do them. We just want to know what you think, what questions you have, what experiences you've had, share with us. And then on top of that, speaking of sharing this podcast with, let's just say 5 people. Share it with 5, like, subscribe, press all the buttons. If you want to support an American abroad, by all means, that's the free way to do it. Free. You just mash those buttons for us. If you feel so inclined as to wanting to do something that is not free, we do have a Patreon that you can definitely donate to, get some behind the scenes content, some extra fun. We've had people try out their grilled cheese experience. That is on the Patreon. You would see that if you were there. So that is us. When we look at our updates and things we need, what you got?
So I'm about to do something and it's gonna come onto the screen and then I'm gonna take it off the screen, y'all. But this is not the fancy part. Hold on. Hold on.
You wait for the fancy.
Okay. All right. The fancy's coming. Okay, because I had to get in here. All right. All right. So we have some announcements and some things that we want to govern your attention.
Hey now.
Towards. All right. The biggest thing is we are accepting applications for interns right now. We are aunties. We have accepted that. As Kalonda said, we're experts in what we're experts in, and there's a lot of things that we're not experts in. Okay. So what we really want to do is to be able to kind of bridge the gap I've been in content creation for a long time. It's been interesting, like seeing you, take this journey into content creation. But there's a lot that goes into sitting in front of the camera and doing this. A lot of behind the scenes stuff and all of that. So what we are doing is we are looking for young people, and I'm gonna y'all see it. Y'all see us. So available internship opportunities right now that we have are here on the screen. We're looking for people who are interested or working in these fields: editors, producers, video engineers, sound engineers, chat moderators, social media managers, virtual assistants, graphic designers, people that are in the content creation area. Maybe you have just gotten started or you're looking to enhance your resume or something like that. We invite you to apply. So you can go to tinyurl.com. So you don't put syrup on your grilled cheese, that acronym, intern app, APP. And there's also a QR code here on the screen if you want to scan that. But we're looking for you, okay? We need you. Primarily, we're looking for ages 18 to 24, but if you land outside of that, no worries. Apply anyway, please. All right? And all of the directions are over on the Google form, so read, submit, we're looking for you, all right? The second thing is we have a segment, and today we're going to talk about it some, but I want to just upfront put this for you. It's called Ask An Auntie. Because this is the thing, I told you, we're aunties. We cute, right?
We're cute. I'm cute. Thank you.
We hello my baby like that.
Anyway, go ahead.
So, Ask An Auntie is our segment where we are accepting questions from you all about different things, different phases of life, all sorts of topics, whether it's relationships, finances, adulting. Give us some advice.
All
right?
the things.
So if you go to tinyurl.com/askanauntie, then you will be able to make those submissions. You can also remain anonymous. So if that is your wish, then you would just put that into the field where it says name, and you'll just say, I would like to remain anonymous. All right. But Ask An Auntie is your opportunity to get some free advice from us. Halfway serious, halfway shenanigans. It just depends. It just depends on what we feeling like. That particular day, what's happening, what's going on. All right. So what is I think it's one. Oh, if you want to be a guest. So the last thing, if you want to be a guest on the show, we're accepting guests. You would email us at mindingmyblack-ass-business@gmail.com, and then you will use the subject line, let me own there. All right. And that is how we will know that you want to be on the show. But there are some things that you have to do. You do have to taste syrup on your grilled cheese.
Yes.
Okay, that is necessary.
Requirement.
So if y'all were watching, that was last show, right? Yes. That Bianca was here. So we had a collision of worlds where Bianca came over from the Teaching for the Culture and the Heal That Shit universe, and she tasted syrup on the grilled cheese, and that's Kalonda mentioned this over on our Patreon. So if you want to be a guest on the show, you have to. It's mandatory. Okay, that you got to taste syrup on your grilled cheese. All right. Okay. That's it. That's all. That's the update. Into the things.
Into the things. All right, my love bugs. Oh, speaking of love bugs, we haven't talked about it now a couple times.
Oh, our emojis. Tell the people.
All right. So when you see us out in these internet streets, either here with each other or in our individual little content worlds, by all means, if you're coming in from So You Don't Put Syrup on Your Grilled Cheese, you can let us know by using our emojis. For my emojis, I have a ladybug. They have been following me forever. They are definitely a symbol of luck and prosperity and life-changing and support from the universe, as well as blue hearts, or cobalt blue is my favorite color. And I am absolutely committed to living this portion of my life out loud and finding love that I do not have to question and try to decipher. So when you see me out there, drop in a ladybug or a blue heart, and I'll know that you came from So You Don't Put Syrup on Your Grilled Cheese.
And then my emojis are the sunflower and the crayon. So the sunflower, my favorite color is yellow. As you all can see, I have on my yellow glasses. And it's interesting. I was thinking the other day because these were the glasses that constantly got me talked about when I was in Pennsylvania, and I had stopped wearing them. But this was kind of a way for me to take my power back because I was like, can y'all just stop talking about me? Like, can we focus on the children and the education?
Right.
You know? So I had like taken them off because they were causing too much attention, right? So me putting my yellow glasses back on is a way for me to be like, yes, I am here, I'm vibrant, and you see me. You see me.
I am the magic.
Okay. That. So the sunflower represents that, and it just made me happy. Yellow feels like joy and happiness and all of that. And then the crayon, because there was a time in my life where everything was very black and very gray, and I committed to coloring the fuck out of my life. So the crayon is here because I am wanting to be bolder and brighter and more vibrant and all of that. So again, when you see us out in these streets, make sure y'all drop those emojis. Matter of fact, you can do that right now.
Right in
the chat. Go ahead and drop us some emojis because it's a way to show that super love, right? And it lets us know that you're a part of our community. So you were saying, I love that you said ladybugs because when you have your own Patreon, that's what your people are going to do. Go ahead. Tell us the thing.
She's like, so I'm just saying.
I'm just putting it out there because just side note. I just want to make this public announcement for the record on October 20th, Sunday, October 20th at 11:18 a.m. Y'all ain't got to listen to me. Okay, y'all don't have to listen to me. But I'm gonna tell you, usually I'll be right.
Kim be right. Kim be right. She be right. I don't, and I can't even be mad about it because she will tell you up front, like, hey, this is what it is. I'm telling you, this is what this is. And sure as shit, you'll go about your business, do things your own way, think you figured out a workaround, and be like, okay, I heard you, sis, and I appreciate that feedback. This is what I did to improve it so that wouldn't happen. And at the end of the day, she's still right. And then you have to tell her because it's only the right thing to do is to be like, you know what, you're gonna do one thing. It's be right. I just want you to know. So
I just wanted to let the record reflect. Okay, y'all don't never have to listen to me, but also I'll be knowing. But yeah, so.
What's the thing? So we have been, I guess, answering this eternal question of what brings us joy and what that looks like. And I know in the very beginning of this, that was a very hard question. It took about 6 months to finally get somewhat of an answer. And it's definitely a work in progress. Like it's stuff that's still evolving and you don't necessarily have to stop finding that answer, and those answers can change. You know,
hell yeah,
as you're going through whatever you're going through. So it's always good to kind of stop and reassess and see what that looks like. So in this process for me of kind of trying to find out what that is, we've already established that flowers bring me absolute joy and make me smile. Even so much so that when I thought that I was possibly allergic to lilies.
I did hear you in there, those.
You know what? First off, if you start sneezing and snorting too much, she gives you this little bitty pill that puts you out for like 2 days.
Wait a minute. Don't act like you. I
did ask. I didn't say you didn't tell me. I'm just saying the end result was I was asleep for 2 days. I wasn't sneezing though. I was not sneezing. But yes, so we got these lilies and all these flowers, and immediately I started sneezing. I was just sniffing and fake snotting, all this stuff. And I'm like, that's all right. I'll breathe when they die. Like,
that's what she said.
It is worth it to me.
That's what she said.
To see these flowers, it is perfectly fine. And I literally sleep with them next to my bed. Like, it's
in your face.
In my face.
I heard you in there. I said, I'm not going to even say nothing. They're like, That's it. Oh, boy, them flowers.
I don't care. It's worth it. They bring me joy. Looking at them, smelling them make me happy. The whole process of putting them together, it's just something that's just calming and it's worth it. And I mean, you think about all the stuff in life that you do where you're like, this may not be the best, but it makes me feel good. And that's one of the things. Yeah. So anyway, flowers. Water for sure. Working on ways to incorporate that more. I went to the pool the other day, got a little bit of a tan.
I was jealous. I was like, dang, I should have went with you because I want to be dark skinned too.
Come on, come on in the room, Dark Chocolate Goddess. There's room for all of us.
Yeah.
So I definitely enjoyed that. And there was some beautiful bird, looked like a parrot.
It might have been.
Oh, I don't know. It was smaller though. So I don't know. Maybe it was, but it was like this gorgeous bird that was like, I'm in the water. The bird comes down and like takes a drink out of the pool. I was like,
tell y'all something. Kalonda is Snow White. That's the one, ain't it? Snow White? Where all the little creatures. Kalonda is Snow White. Let me explain something to y'all.
She said, let me explain it.
Before Kalonda came, there's a beautiful balcony. Okay, I'm growing the plants, like it's beautiful and stuff, right? She gets it. Well, first off, the ladybugs started showing up first, and I was like, "You sent your ladybugs." Interesting, right?
Like there's ladybugs.
I'm like, ladybug on the curtain. I ain't never seen one of them before. Snap a picture of that just for record's sake, right? But then she got here and she was like, hummingbirds. There's a hummingbird, and I was like, what? So she says this, right? I have never seen a hummingbird here before this girl got here. I have only seen it one time, and it's because I just so happened, I think, to be out here and maybe see it like come and then disappear. But they visit her window all the time. All the time. Bumblebees been in the room. She said a caterpillar was in here earlier.
Caterpillar crawling across the
floor. Got that Snow White spirit. Okay, so things. But go ahead. We need to look at what it means.
I know. And so I looked up the bumblebee.
Oh, yes.
The bumblebee was good. I'll have to go through it. It was like a full lengthy description of all the notes and everything. So what I've also learned in this journey of joy is that there are the signs everywhere, you know, and part of the joy now is looking for, identifying, and then seeing what the signs mean. Yeah.
I love that you're here.
Oh my God.
You know, because when you first got here and we were having these conversations and I was like, God is always talking. Like, what do you pay attention to?
Right.
And you were like, I wanted to put a note.
I want a note in my notepad. Dear Kalonda, this is God. This is what you need to do. Okay? Step 1. Now, in real life, I'm like, don't fucking tell me what to do. However, I would like clear step-by-step instructions. Thank you very much. So yes, Kim and I did have that conversation. And we also said, I was like, can you just tell him what I need? Because he clearly listens to you. Like, you just slide it in on your prayer line. She's like, that's between you and God, girl. What?
You don't get in there and talk to your Lord. And then you can come and tell me about it. But I don't know.
I'm not facilitating this conversation.
You and God.
Like, damn it.
But I love that you're here. I love that you're at this place where you're like, oh my gosh, they're everywhere, and finding the joy in where things are going to show up.
Yeah.
Because remember, even when we were talking about deja vu, and I was like, I love deja vu. Because for me, it's like, yes, ma'am, you're on the right track. You know, I've been here before. Because this is what I believe, y'all. I believe that God showed us before we were born, before we accepted the mission to be born. I believe that God shows us our life and the highs, the lows, the ups, the downs, the in-betweens. And we accept that mission. So when I see deja vu, it lets me know, yes, you've been here, but yeah, you saw this before. So go ahead on. You're on the right track, right? Because I know that God is always talking. Right. So I'm excited because at first, like, there was so much confusion. Do you remember like being on the balcony and you were like, where is it?
So you remember that? What is going on? Like there is, I don't know if anybody has ever looked at what is it, the Dark Night of the Soul or something like that. It's like this whole purpose.
Sorry, go ahead. It's my Bluetooth.
It's me. It's the whole purpose of the whole purpose of discovering rebirth and getting awakened to the real life and what's actually going on. And part of it is there's these different stages. And the first part, they call it the Dark Night of the Soul. And that's when you feel like everything's a lie. Like you're like, I thought I had a purpose. I thought I was working towards it. I thought this is what life was supposed to be like. And you start to realize like these layers are being pulled back and you're like, this is not true. Like, this is not real. And like, when I first got here, I was like, it's a simulation, you know?
Yeah. But it also looks like a simulation.
It does look like a simulation out here, for real, for real. You feel like little pods and all kind of things.
It really feels like a simulation.
In the Dark Night of the Soul, it's like that first step where you kind of feel like what is really going on. And
I've never heard of this before.
It's pretty exciting. And then once you come out of that, it's like a period of isolation where you really just kind of go into yourself to try to figure out what's going on, because the relationships that you had previously no longer serve you, the purpose that you thought you had, like all of those things. So you have to kind of go into yourself to figure out what is the real mission, what is the real purpose, how are things actually showing up in my life.
And it's a book?
No, it's like it's life. I don't know.
Okay, I've never heard of this before, but I'm on the journey. Okay.
So you have the isolation moment. Then you come out of the isolation into what is it called? Is it the rebirth? There might be a step in between this and rebirth. Don't shoot me, y'all. But where you start to ask those questions. You know, what do I want? What does this look like for me? How do I create this life? And realizing that it's not to be lived by like man-made laws, but natural laws. What feels good? What looks good? What is your spirit telling you? Checking in with your intuition and letting that guide you instead of just the norms of society, because that's usually where you got into trouble, because you were trying to like fit yourself into boxes and spaces.
The Dark Night of the Soul.
Dark Night of the Soul is where it starts.
Let me write this down.
Yeah.
What is this? What is?
I mean,
a path.
I guess it's a path. I guess it's a path of discovery,
enlightenment, or something.
Maybe.
Where you came across it, sis? Tell us the things. Now,
I mean, look, this year has been. Oh yeah, you need fancy. Not my regular black. I was gonna give you a pen, but then I remembered.
First of all,
you got away.
I'm living my life in color, Kalonda.
Hey, nothing wrong with it.
Okay. Dark Night of the Soul.
So this year's been kicking my butt, right? So, or trying to, very much so. And in this journey here, like, it just made me very introspective and made me very intentional about finding out what this is, what this looks like, and realizing that it's happening to so many people.
Yeah.
And
that's the wild
there are
thing.
no names for it. Yeah. You know, and it's like, oh, this fits in so many ways, you know, and it's, as you're going through it, you have to realize and recognize the different stages of grief that are along this journey. Because you're saying bye to a lot.
A lot. I just posted something yesterday and it was like, you don't realize when you choose peace how many goodbyes.
Jesus on the cross. Yeah. Amen.
It's a lot.
It is a lot.
It's a lot.
And you have to grieve all those versions of yourself.
Yeah.
Because those relationships all had like an identity that you existed in that space. And that is no longer accessible.
Correct. And you know what's so crazy? So I'm not gonna say his name, but when I was getting married, and then when I decided not to get married this last, I've been engaged 3 times. Well, first of all,
but it's a good thing you honored you.
But this is the thing. I only planned on getting married twice. Okay, that second time I was never gonna get married. That was an abusive relationship. I just said yes just to buy some time and figure some things out. But the first time and the last time I was actually planning on getting married. Okay, the first time I was 25. So, you know, life. But then this last time, the reason I brought it up is because the reason that we didn't get married is because they were having this experience and didn't know how to explain what was happening, right? So it just came out to me like, I don't even know if I want to get married. And I was like, wait a minute, what's happening here? What's going on?
All good a week ago. What is happening?
But once like we really started to unpack what was happening, and at the time, all we knew to call it was the midlife crisis. Like we're like, I get midlife crisis. I don't know, like whatever. But I remember him like going through the grieving process, but again, still not really having the language to name what was happening, right? So it is like just so much, because soon after that, then I transitioned into my situation and me trying to figure out what I was grieving and what does this look like and sound like for me. And then I could look back and be like, that's what you was talking about, huh? Right. But I wanted to be so much more intentional about talking about it because like you said, so many people are going through this right now, whether it's marriages ending, kids leaving the house, just being overworking. We done did this. Okay, we done did this for 20-some years. Got it.
What's the next thing?
Good. Right. Like when I gave them people their house back, I was like, thank you.
I appreciate it.
Really enjoying this experience.
I did it.
This was nice.
You can have it.
You can have this back. I am done. I checked it off. I wanted to have a house before I turned 30. I was like, got it at 29. You did that.
Pop your shit.
And now we're done. Here you go. I don't want to be responsible for this anymore. So there are so many of us in this age of life that are going through, but we're not talking about it. So it seems like you're doing it by yourself.
You're the only one. Yeah. And like, it's such a disservice when people call, when people named what they call the midlife crisis. Because it just brings to mind they got a new car,
right?
Or they got a younger girlfriend,
right?
A younger boyfriend.
Stella got a groove,
right? She went on vacation. They cut their hair off. Like that's your midlife crisis. No, a midlife crisis is a full-on existential crisis. What am I doing here? What is my purpose? Why does none of this make sense?
Yeah.
Why don't I recognize the person I see in the mirror anymore?
Yeah.
And then going through that process of, I just need to get back to who I was. And then realizing
that's not there no more.
Not there. That was never real. Like that's the issue.
Never real.
That's the issue.
That's the part that be blowing me right there. That was never real.
Yeah.
Because I be asking myself, how was I functioning? Because like to have to fit my today me into the framework of my, I'll say prior to 2019 me. I don't. Ain't no way. I girl,
you want me to what?
Burning the candle at both ends, like just I don't even. It doesn't make sense. So figuring out that was never me. That was who I had to be in order to be successful in that system. But that is not what I ever really wanted.
That system in the first place.
In the system. I did not want to do
this. That was never a place. That's why when you ask, like, oh, what do you want to do? I'm like, I don't want to do anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
I want to sit in this hammock. I want to float in this pool.
Yeah.
I want to be happy and safe and secure and loved.
Yes.
None of that sounds like I want to work 55 hours a week. I want to be beholden and responsible for other people's feelings. And like, none of it sounds like that.
Yeah.
It's like, what?
Yeah.
But that's what we've all been conditioned to pursue.
Yeah.
And to create.
Yes.
And to perpetuate.
Yes.
Instead of saying, you know what do you want to do? What honors your spirit? And be unapologetically that. And then the people that vibrate and align with that frequency is who will find you. Then you don't have so many goodbyes because that's who's supposed to be in your life. But when you have this mask on and you're doing the things you're supposed to do, you wind up with these people and they're around you because you're aligning with them, but that's not you.
Girl, you about to make me get up and start running around this room. I am so serious, because even the song that I chose for today, like to share the post to let people know that we were going to be on, is a song called Lord Jesus, I'm gonna forget. Oh God. The artist is Aya the Light, Ayah the Light. And I want to say the song might be called Frequency, or it's something about energy. But anyway, the words of the song, yeah, it's called Frequency, Aya the Light. But she said, I'm like protecting my frequency, protecting my energy. And then after that, a song came on by Tony Jones, which is Energy Budget, which I listen to all the time. But the idea of identifying your own frequency and then being able to align with people who match that frequency, and then understanding that when you do that, that you're actually having aligned relationships. And you don't have to have so many goodbyes because people are not trying you like that.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because you almost broke my heart the other day.
What'd I do?
You said, you were like, you just have to realize, what you expect from people is more than what they can give you.
Yeah.
And because of that, there's going to be less people around you. And Lord have mercy. I was just like.
That was like the first time you ever.
It was just kind of like because, I told you, I feel like, because it's what I do. So it's normal to me. It's what I know. So I feel like, it's easy. You show up for people the way you want them to show up for you. You honor those relationships, what have you. Next.
Easy peasy.
Easy peasy. No, it's not. Like, that's not how people show up in your life. So hearing like, hey, you just might not have a lot of people around you. That's just gonna be the thing. And they're gonna be people that you can see the potential, you can see what could be, but realize that for whatever reason at this point in their time, they're not able to meet you where you are.
It's hard. It's a hard reality.
Yeah.
So then you had to grieve that.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was, I don't remember which therapist along the way gave me that piece of advice, but because it helped me, I feel like I was holding resentment or something, like I was angry because I was like, I just don't like, this should be easy.
Why don't they just do
the thing? But what my therapist had told me was, everybody's on a journey, right? And that's why I switched to this kind of language, right? Everybody's on a journey, and everybody's at a different place in their process. You might be further along than they are, and you cannot drag people and make them be ready, and like you can't. They will do it when they are ready to do it. What I have to do is choose me, right? Because what I would do is I would stay there and I would try to help them, and come on, like, it's not that hard. And they're like, I don't want to go to therapy. I don't want to do that. I don't want to deal with, my insecurities, and I don't want to be vulnerable. I don't want to talk about these things, right? But again, talking to me, I require that.
Right.
So then they're like, deuces.
No, thank you.
But then I'm taking it personally, like something is wrong with me.
People keep leaving me?
It's not about that. It's that they're not ready to vibrate at the frequency that you're vibrating at. And I feel like recognizing that, just had this conversation with Bianca, I feel like, recognizing that on the front end,
getting faster.
Getting faster, and recognizing that on the front end is how we save the large amounts of grief on the back end, because we're not putting people in position that they should have never been in, and you're honoring their actual capacity, right? But also, this is what I want to say to people, because we have to practice emotional integrity, okay? Because if you are being dishonest with yourself, first, emotional integrity starts with you.
Right.
So if you're being dishonest with yourself, then that means that you're also showing up dishonestly in every other relationship that you have, right? We have to be able to say, this makes me feel XYZ, or I would like to talk about, like, oh, it seems so easy.
It's not.
But I realized, because I just learned how to feel 3 years ago, right? And I talk about that all the time, but I feel like I was willing to explore the idea. And that's the thing, the willingness to have vulnerable and open relationships with people. I didn't realize how many people have surface relationships. Like, I really didn't. I really thought people be out here like
discussing feelings
and like
having, you know, DTRs and no.
DTR is defining the relationship. Shout out to Bianca.
That is not happening.
Yeah.
Like,
but that's how I have relationships. Right. So my assumption was that, that everybody was doing that. So then when I get mollywopped in the face and I be like, oh, y'all not out here talking to each other. Y'all just
existing.
Y'all just good morning and how did you well? You calling this a relationship? Like, no, thank you. So anyway, I'm very, very, very excited to know that you are at today's place in this journey of your identification with joy, looking forward to it. Like, it doesn't feel overwhelming and confusing. It's now like, let me go see what is going to be today.
Right. What's the next thing that's going to jump out? Like, and that's very exciting. That's very exciting. And when you get to these different places, again, with the universe and God talking to you, you will start to see those things that line up with that. So then it makes it a lot easier on that journey and in that process. Because it was something, I don't know if it was on, I don't know, Instagram, TikTok, something. And it came up in a couple different ways, but essentially it was saying, this one was like related. Anyway, they were trying to help people understand how to not attach. And it was like, normally you go, oh, he did this for me, or she did this for me. And like, look how great they are doing these things for me and showing up in my life this way because they are so awesome, da 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 da. So now you become attached to them and what they bring. Reframing that and saying, look what, like, I'm so great that they did this for me, in that you are actually the reason.
Magic.
I am the magic. You know, and that it's like that shift is so subtle. But when you look at where you work, relationships you have, friendships, whatever it is, you go, oh damn, like I did give them all of the power and all of the recognition of like, look at this great person and like how they show up in my life, instead of look at what a great person I am that attracts these things and these people and these actions, and going, wow, I deserve that. And you know, I have an issue with deserve, y'all. I am working. It is a work in progress. I see it for everybody else, but for me, it is hard. But hearing that was like, oh, maybe. And I'm gonna live with the maybe for a little while. I'm gonna let that rock. So that was like super, super interesting. So that was one of my
love that. I love that reframing. I had a really, really good therapist who worked with me on reframing. I like that because it brings it back to you. Because just even when you were talking, I was thinking a professional setting, right? Like, I don't know that we often are thinking to ourselves, yeah, y'all coming to me because I'm the magic up in this piece.
Right.
That's right. Y'all need me.
Correct.
You welcome. You know, I don't know that we're thinking about it like that. I love that. Oh, you know, all right. That's nice. Okay. So that's our question, y'all. That's the overarching question that we've been asking ourselves and that we continue to ask and that we challenge you to ask yourself every day, what brings you joy? Does something bring you joy? Do people bring you joy? Does this food bring me joy? Does this crayon bring me joy? Okay. If it does not bring you joy, out of there.
Reassess it as often as you need.
Out of there. All right. Okay, so what's next? So
Update. Yes, indeed.
what you got?
What's your yes, indeed?
Is my yes indeed?
Yeah, I mean, I went first already.
Okay. Well, so what I want to do is I want to log back into this thing and take this banner down. This is why we need a producer, because
right.
Usually our producer would jump in there, but my phone kicked me out, so then I gotta come back in, so then y'all see me pop up, which is what's about to happen right now. Then I gotta take myself back out, so just act like I'm not there. All right.
So while she's doing that, you want me to start?
Now I'm going. Okay. All right. Okay. Now let me take our banner down. What?
This was my bad. I should have just done mine while you did that.
It's all good. Snow White. So, okay. Yes, indeed. I think I have really just been adjusting. Hold on, I can't do two things at one time. So I want to make us a banner for this because we didn't have one.
Okay.
Okay, so yes, indeed, life update.
That's it.
Add banner.
Boom! Worked out in real time.
Okay. Good job.
You did it.
Hello, producer. Y'all share that intern app. It's tinyurl.com.
So you don't put syrup on your grilled cheese
intern app. Okay.
Look at you.
We need some help. We need some help. So yeah, I think I have. So Bianca was here, and that was fun. I really, really enjoyed having her here and being able to kind of just frolic, and also for her ass to get a damn break. Okay. I am team sit your ass down some damn where and rest your nerves.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the team I'm on.
Yeah.
But it was really nice having her here. And also though, it is interesting going from nobody at the house, right? To okay, Kalonda's here, okay, but she's in her own area, to okay, Kalonda and Bianca's here, okay, and both of them wake up early and
be talking to you.
It's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot.
She's like, not only are they awake, but they are expecting me.
I don't talk before 11 a.m. I try not to, so it's like, I was like, do I go out and make my tea at 9? They out there.
They out there. This fool came out of her room one day and was like, I gotta go meditate.
I'm not ready yet. I'm not ready yet.
We just said good morning.
Correct. I'm not ready. It don't have nothing to do with y'all. It's about me. I'm not ready yet. So, and that also, me and routines. It's like when my routine is off, just everything is just crazy. So, but also I've been working on a routine. So it's like I was working on a routine that wasn't solidified, and then variables, and now trying to actually be like, okay, what is we doing
right
here? So I think I've really been working on trying to reestablish. I am definitely an introvert. I know I present very extrovertedly. That is because I'm an actor. Okay, and I know
and how a child of trauma.
And a child of trauma. So I know how to be in situations, but I am an introvert. And what that does not mean I'm shy, because I'm not shy at all. But what that means is I need downtime after people, right? So Bianca wound up actually being here for 2 weeks because of Hurricane Milton, which again, I'm so glad that she was here and that she had a place to be during that time. But now it was like, okay, everything's quiet again. So, and I didn't realize it at first, because I think she was a little. So maybe by like Tuesday, I was like, "Oh, you recuperate later,
yeah,
and rest your nerves." So I had to give myself the permission to do that and just be like, "Okay, let's recalibrate." The other thing that happens is when my routine is thrown off, and it's a lot of variables at the same time. I live with OCD, y'all, and it's really, really interesting because OCD presents in so many different ways. And I'm trying to be a lot more intentional about catching the small signs so that it doesn't continue to escalate and escalate and escalate. So what I'll notice is I will only stand on a part of my foot. Or when I'm in the shower, like sometimes I'll just be standing on this one tile and then I'm just like, just right there. I'm just gonna stand here because sometimes the grout makes me feel weird. Or like, and I noticed everything, right? So I even told them, they were like, oh, you saw, I was like, I see everything. Right. I might not say it, correct, but I see it. And this is the other thing is that I'm a scientist. Right, my degree is in biology. I have grown plates of bacteria. Like I know how that spreads. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, you just came from outside. That's dirty. Now your dirty shoes, but you walked across the floor. So now that's dirty. And then you walk. So now the kitchen's dirty. So then you walked here. Oh God. Oh God. Now I got to mop the floor. Clean it off. Like so, it's a lot. Yeah. It is a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot to manage, and it doesn't necessarily go away. Like it's always something that I'm managing every single day at every single time. And sometimes I have the energy to do the things, and sometimes I don't. Sometimes I'm just like, I can't control that right now. I'll just be in the room because I can control this. So I think I've been just kind of living in that space of trying to get recalibrated so that I'm able to feel completely settled. And it's so many variables. It's hard to, it's like you got to knock one thing off at a time. Right. You know? Right. So it's been interesting. So I have been focusing on that. And trying to figure out what part of the routine that I really like and appreciate. So for instance, meditation, I got to meditate in the morning, okay? Because if I don't meditate in the morning, the day don't go right, okay? So I have to ground myself. And one of the things that I realized is what I would try to do is I would try to be all high vibrational frequency, right? But I haven't grounded, this, the frame, like the scaffolding, if you will, right? To be able to build on that. I would try to jump here and be all, you know, and that's a lot because you don't have the foundation to support it. So I've been spending a lot of time on my foundational grounding, you know. One thing I can say when we were talking about what brings us joy earlier, incense, and I've talked about that before. And I go, my cousin brought me some incense, and I don't got to ration my incense anymore. Oh my God. It might seem like something so small, but it is a part. I'm a very sensory person. So like smells and light and like all of that makes a difference to me. So it's amazing to be able to wake up and light my incense and like, okay, we're starting the day. And then I don't know if you heard me in there. I had to recalibrate my sound bowl, y'all, because Bianca, y'all go back and watch the last episode because Bianca bastardized my sound bowl and she turned, yes, that's what it was. She turned my peaceful grounding sound bowl into a petty bell. We got petty paws. And she in here, she watching. I know she got petty paws. She took her petty paws and she put her petty paws on my peaceful sound bowl. So I had to recalibrate my sound bowl and have a ceremony with some incense, like send her energy back to her from whence it came. From whence it came. Oh my God. So yeah, that's where I've been this week. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when looking in this past week, because you know it had been disrupted and all that, so we know that meditation and grounding is definitely one piece. What else do you think has stayed through all these changes so that like this is a piece that I need to keep with me. It was something I was able
Interestingly enough, journaling. And so there are times that I've been a very much a journaler. And there are times that I'm like, I'm not writing nothing. In this phase, I find myself reaching for my journal. Like I find myself being like, it's such a let me write, cause honey, like, and that is really cool for me because it reminds me I'm consistently, especially last show we talked about how it's been 3 years since I left the US. And a part of that process, October of last year, I actually did like this 3-hour interview with somebody that I went to school with. I'm thinking about releasing it, but it was the first time after everything that had happened that I talked to someone about what was happening. And she approached it with just so much curiosity and like, girl, like tell me the things what's going on. So what I'm very conscious of is the journaling process helps me in documenting, processing, and also I'll be able to go back and look at this another year from now and be like, oh, wow, that's so cool, that I did that. Yeah. So.
Oh, girl.
That's me.
That's me. So anything that you realize that stopped being a part of your routine that you're like, I'd like to bring that back, like anything that you've identified?
I really would like to be able to get myself up early enough in the morning before it gets hot, have my tea on the balcony, and then go take a walk down the hill and go people watch. That's what I really would like to do. However, that really has to be done by 10, 11 at the latest. Else it's hot as hell out there. So I'm kind of trying to shift my circadian rhythm. So I can wake up earlier because sometimes I'll be up I usually wind up asleep by like 2:30 a.m. But I'm trying to be asleep by midnight. So if I can be asleep by midnight, then that means that I technically can wake up at like 8, right? I've gotten a full night, soft wake up, all of that. Yeah. So I'm trying to shift it backwards so that so I can wake up earlier, so I can put that into my day. Because that's what I would like. I would like to just be able to go skip down the hill and go sit down there with the tios and the abuelos down at the cafe and have
me having a grand old time.
I know they do. I love it when I get down there. By that time, honey, I want to sit out here and talk to, buy me a lottery ticket, and look at the such and the so. So yeah, that's what I would like to have be a part of my day. And I would also like, Bianca and I did do yoga one day. I would like to incorporate that. The issue, the flow dirty. Oh. So it's like, but if I put the dirty mat on the dirty floor and then roll up the dirty mat, now the mat is dirty. You see what I'm saying? Like this is how OCD works.
Right.
So I really want to like have a routine. I don't know if I'm gonna like have to mop the floor more often or something, but like I want to be able to come out, open the balcony, do yoga, or maybe I would do that like after my walk. I don't know, but anyway, I would like to have that be a part. Yeah, so I'm actively working on that. But what does your routine look like? Because you, first of all, be up early, but what you be doing? Because I be asleep.
But I feel like she be up sometimes. Sometimes I do. Oh, she's just not out. And then I feel like I wake up early, but then I don't always. I'm sometimes just up at 6, just up,
but not necessarily starting your day.
Not necessarily doing anything. I might get my hour of doom scrolling it. Look, at this point, you just have to be honest with yourself that you're gonna do it as much as you try not to.
But can we pause there? Because I have a question.
Okay.
Because when you say doom scrolling, what is what is the doom in the scroll?
So the doom, like I say, it's like looking for the end of the internet. Like you're just up, just looking. You're just next, and this is.
Are you
Facebook,
processing
Instagram, TikTok.
What you're looking at?
It's probably I'm not necessarily looking at anything that requires processing. Like that's the doom part of it, is that it's just kind of mindless consumption. You know, it's just like, oh, okay, like that's what's happening. And you may come across different nuggets that may take you down a meaningful rabbit hole. So that's good when that happens.
Okay.
But then sometimes it's just I'm up, but I'm not ready to be like up. Okay. And so, but I kind of want to see what's happening, like what in the world, what's going on out there.
I don't be wanting to know.
She's like, I don't want to know.
I don't.
It's wild. So that's why I call it doom scrolling, because there's just no purpose. Like it's literally a time waster.
So can you scroll for something that have a purpose?
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Sometimes you find.
No, I mean like intentional.
Like start it with a purpose?
Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, if you say,
because like if you say you're gonna scroll regardless, right? And then you're saying that you're doing doom scrolling. So can you do some light scrolling?
Yeah, if you started with that intention. But I think sometimes you don't, because sometimes I also have a thing with badges.
Badges?
You don't know. Some people have notifications on their phone when people are trying to talk to them or get in contact with them or letting them know.
I'm not some people.
Kim doesn't know her. She does not know her.
I don't know who that lady is.
So when I wake up, sometimes, more times than not, I am trying to get rid of.
Oh, see, that's why you got to clear them out. You know what I'm saying?
But because you don't have them on there doesn't mean that they aren't there. Like it just means you can't see them. So anyway, I have the badges. So then I'm like, oh, well, let me go check my email.
Hell nah.
In the morning? Look, first off, my email has nothing in it. Like it's just like sales. I mean, no, there's stuff in there. No, there's emails. There's like 18,000 emails.
Oh my God.
But they're trash. It's like, oh, Victoria's Secret.
You ever tried to clean out your email inbox?
Several times. And
you never did it?
So then this is what I decided to do.
What?
I just decided to
start over.
Mark it all as red.
I said clean it out. I said clean it out.
Once the badges are gone, they're fresh. Once you clear the badges, it's fresh, right? So, because I tried to clear it out, but that takes so long.
It does.
Thousands of emails.
But you know what it does too? Is it really makes you appreciate who got your email address.
I ain't worried about that. And Yahoo email address.
We need a digital audit. We need a digital audit of it.
So look, because y'all, Kim and Bianca, bless their souls, they try with me, and I be trying. So digital audit, going through your phone, taking out contacts of like people who you haven't talked to in Lord knows how long. That you don't even know who this contact is in your phone. I tried. I was like, I think I got to like, I was still in the A's before I was like, you know what, this
you just do a little bit every day.
But my brain don't work like that. It's like once, if we're going through a digital audit, we are going to be done.
Kalonda.
I can't. It's all or nothing. Okay.
You be stressing yourself out.
I know when I have the energy and the excitement to do it, we need to capitalize on that momentum and help it move forward.
I can't with you.
So when I started that process, it was like, yeah. No.
But see, that's supposed to be the catalyst for you to be like, I'm going to be so much more intentional about this because look how much energy it took me to regain control over this.
I guess. But I feel like it's not bothering me right now because they're not calling me anyway. Well, so it doesn't matter that they're in my phone. But I understand the thought process because I know it's a bigger picture of this represents all of the people that have access to you.
Correct.
You know,
Correct.
and they don't need it, and you don't need it.
Correct.
In your space.
Correct.
You know, I'm trying.
God bless you,
it's on my mind. So at some point it will happen. I just,
yeah. It's a process, though. It really is. Like, this is not something that we've been. Bianca said it has to be done in phases. Yeah, it's not something that you do all at one time. It's just something that you become very intentional about. Like, I'm going to dedicate time to this. I'm going to take 20 minutes when scrolling anyway. Let me scroll through my contacts and delete some of these people that don't need to be here no more. It's like, you know, but yeah, remember I told you about the Pomodoro method where my my psychologist was like 15, 25 minutes on, 15 minutes off. It's something like that. Like, you would be like, okay, I'm going to do 2 25-minute sessions. Who is this? Do they bring me joy? I don't even know who this is. Delete. You know?
I have such a what if spirit.
And see, but that's wild though that you have such a what if spirit when you're very much about action. Because how you holding out for actions that ain't happened? But they haven't.
And then it's like, oh, I'm gonna have to go through I don't have your number saved. Who's this?
Who is this? Correct.
Or typically now, if I get something without someone's number in it, I just ignore it because I'm like, this must be a wrong number. But what if it's not a wrong number?
Then they better say something. Because otherwise, guess what? Okay. I feel like this is a good place to segue over into our No Mercy dating stories because
this is how you get to the archive.
Let's talk about what earns you a one-way ticket to the archives and to the block list. Okay. And I want this to be collaborative, all right? So y'all tell us in the comments the types of things that can, and it don't have to be a romantic situation. Right. Just what are the things that make you be like, delete, block, silencio? Like, what are those? No mas. No mas. Okay. So for me, I'm not doing your small talk. I'm putting that up top. I'm not doing it. Okay. What is small talk? Small talk is talk that don't go beyond the damn surface. All right. You only got so many. Hey, good morning. How did you sleep? Did you eat? How's the weather? What did you do? With no follow-up, nothing to develop this conversation. You got about 2 times. After that, you're going to the archive because I'm not interested in this surface ass conversation that you're having. I don't want to do it. I've said before, you better tell me what you want on the front end.
And then ask me how I'm doing.
And then we can have all the small talk. But especially if you got a request and you small talking me to that, you in the archives. I ain't even seen your request from here on out. I'm done. You understand? I'm done. I ain't got time nor energy for low vibrational conversations. If I'm talking about you, if the shoe fit, put it on and run around the block with it. Okay? Because why you not having deeper conversations is what I need to understand. Okay, so that's number damn one, as Tamika would say. You have one you want to contribute?
So Kim's looking at me because I never put anybody in the archive. I don't think I even have anybody blocked in my phone. Like,
what?
I don't know that I've blocked. I don't think
Are you serious?
So serious.
No.
I don't think I have anybody.
What about like on your social media? You don't block people? Are y'all blockers or non-blockers? Because I'm a blocking bitch. Let me tell you, I'm blocking.
I just won't see it. I just feel like
you just won't see it.
I feel like the algorithm doesn't bring it around. I don't see it. I don't think about it. And if you do pop up, I just scroll by. Like, it's not. That's not for me.
See it. Block. You don't even have blocked people in your phone.
I don't think so.
Really?
I mean, unless it's like, a bill collector. I do not answer. But even that, I don't think they're blocked. I think I just have them saved under a contact that doesn't ring. So even that is not.
So talk to me about why not block? Because I block.
Because I
believe in the block and be blessed ministry, baby. I will block you in a heartbeat. You hear me? No announcement, no nothing. I've disappeared. Okay, block.
I mean, I feel like not talking is not talking. Like, I don't need to block you. Like, we just not gonna talk.
So you've never had people that have tried to contact you that you didn't want to have a conversation
with? If I did, I just ignored it.
Interesting.
I feel like
I'm trying.
I'm like literally trying to think. Like,
and I'm assessing my own life because I know that because I don't like we live very different lives, right? So like I'm like I don't know if because I've led a more accessible public consumatory life that I've had to be like, bitch, you don't know me. Get out of here.
Well, and that is different too, because until very recently, all of my stuff was private anyway.
Yeah.
So it was really like legitimately people I knew.
Yeah.
So it was,
But you ain't never blocked nobody that you knew either?
Even that guy who showed up on my porch for 4 hours wasn't blocked. well, cause that, now in my defense,
first of all, you can't just be saying something like on your porch for 4 hours, summertime.
4 hours.
What happened
there? There was a lot of hindsight that I missed. But anyway, met this guy, seems really nice, appreciated his forwardness. He's like, oh, we should go out. Like, let's go to the Saints game. I'm like, I don't know you, sir. How do you know you want to go to a Saints game with me? And he's like, well, we could go to a bar before, hang out.
Wait, where did you meet him?
Met him online. So this was like I don't remember what one of the sites.
Okay.
And he's like, hey, you want to go to the Saints game today? It was like,
this is first interaction.
Okay. And I was like, you don't know me. You don't know that you want to go to the Saints game with me. Like, what are you talking about? So he's like, oh, well, let's just go to the bar first. And if, we decide, then I have 2 tickets. Okay. Like, let's go.
Okay.
I'm like, I mean, what can it hurt? Sure. Free Saints game, free mimosas, whatever. So turns out like super cool guy, fun, nice, whatever. Had a great time. We wind up going to the Saints game. Had a good time. Went out a couple times after that. Then so this must have been August, September, let's just say, because it's the beginning of the football season. Then it must have been August. So then in September, I was with him when I ran into my dad for the first time after having not seen him in a long time. And that was a very interesting interaction because the guy was like, I don't know if he didn't know the situation with my dad and I. So I'm sure he's probably thinking,
this is your first time meeting him.
Right. Yeah. So he's thinking, you just saw your daddy at breakfast. Like, is this your dad? Like, why are you talking to this man for so long? But it's like, dude, it's been like 25 years. Like, can you go get us some drinks and go sit down somewhere? Or go dance with one of these chicks? Like, go over there. Like, I'm talking. It was very weird.
Oh, Lord.
It's very weird. But he apologized the next day. He realized he was not, like, that wasn't the best. Yeah. That wasn't right. Okay, cool. Fine. Fast forward. So we've gone out a few times since that point. It's now December because it's his birthday.
Okay.
And so but his birthday falls on the day of someone else's birthday that I knew I was going to be with celebrating their birthday.
Okay. So, somebody you already knew.
Right. And I knew I'd never made plans to see this person on their birthday. Okay. It's very important.
Okay.
I'm also sick on this day.
Okay.
So I go celebrate birthday of the person who I knew I was going to be celebrating. I go home. I shut it down. I take NyQuil. I got my rain machine on. I close the door. I am done.
Okay.
Like, done for the day. I wake up at like, I don't know, 2:00, let's just say. 2:30 a.m.
Okay.
Look at my phone. Sorry, I do. Look at my phone. I have a missed call from my tenant, my neighbor, and then I have like 17 or 18 missed phone calls.
Oh, hell no.
And text messages. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Like, what is happening? So I look at my tenant's text messages first.
Of course.
Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
And she's like, hey, there's somebody out here. They've been like screaming your name, knocking on the door. They've been here for like hours. And I'm like, what the hell? So now I see she sent this text at like 11 o'clock. It's 2 in the morning now.
Uh-huh.
So the first text of, hey, this guy's out here.
Okay.
I just want to make sure you're okay. Because she and I, we both lived alone at the time.
Yeah.
So it's like, whatever. But anyway. So she was just looking out. So I'm like, what the hell? So then this second round of text and phone calls, she's like, he's back. I called the police. So that's what I wake up to.
Okay.
So then I call him because I'm like, okay, I don't know what's going on. But
so how you know it was him?
Oh, because he had like 40-some text messages and missed phone calls from him.
What is he saying?
I'm here. I'm outside. Open the door. It's my birthday. Come talk to me. Like, hey, I'm outside. Hey, I'm outside. Like, all of it, right? So I call him, and I'm like, what are you doing?
I need y'all's reactions and comments in the damn chat because this is wild.
I'm like, what are you doing? And he's like, I want to see you. It's my birthday. I'm like, we didn't have any plans to hang out today. I told you it was somebody's birthday, that's where I was going to be, whatever. He's like, but it's my birthday. I want to see you. I'm like, you've been on my porch for 4 hours.
So wait, what time is this?
This is like 2-something in the morning.
So he's still there?
He's still there.
And the police ain't came?
So this is when I wake up. She's saying he's back. So I don't know if he had left at some point in between them, and then had come back. And so she's like, hey, he's back out here. I called the police. So then that's when I called him. Because again, I'm like, I don't know what's going on, but I also don't want you to go to jail. Like, I know. Anyway, so I'm calling him like, dude, what are you doing? Like, I have neighbors. You've been on my porch for 4 hours. Like, what is going on? I'm like, you need to leave. I can't believe it. You're not just gonna let me in. I'm like, I'm not letting you in. I was like, I'm not letting you in. And then he has a daughter, like a younger daughter. But I was like, just imagine if your daughter called you and was like, Daddy, there's this guy on my porch. He's been here for hours and he won't leave. He's like, I would tell her to let him in. I was like, you are unhinged. Like, you are certifiable. There is no way in the world you would tell your daughter to let this man in.
Maybe he would, but guess what?
That is crazy.
Guess what'll be happening today?
So then we're talking. I guess something happened. So he's talking on his watch. So it's like on speakerphone.
He's still at your door?
He's still outside. I somewhere. I didn't go up to the front. I'm in my bedroom. I'm like, I don't know. I'm not going nowhere. So he's on his watch, because then I hear someone say, so you're not going to let him in? And I was like, are they talking to me? So the police had come. But the policeman, I guess, is hearing the conversation, and he's just like, so you're not going to let him? I was like, sir, because again.
Did you know it was the police?
Yeah.
Okay.
I forget it was the police then. I said, because look, I'm not trying to send this man to jail. Okay. I'm not trying to do that. So I'm being very careful with my words with this officer.
I don't know that nigga. I've been out with him before, Mr. Officer, but he didn't have permission to be here at my house. Please escort him back to his own place of residence. So he better not never come around here no more again ever.
So I said, sir, I am a single woman. I live alone. I appreciate you for responding to this call. No, I am not letting him in. Because I think what the officer thought was that we were like we lived together or something.
This was a domestic dispute.
And I just wasn't letting him in. I don't know who he is. We don't live together. So then the cop goes, he said, you don't live here? And he's like, he either said I'm dating her or that's my girlfriend. He said something like that. And I said, what? And he's like, well, I'm trying to date her. And so then the cop was like, "Oh, sir, you have to go. Like, you can't stay here." Right? So, all right. So he then asked the cop, "Well, can you give me a ride?"
Oh, right. Oh, what? All this.
So it was his birthday. I guess he had Ubered somewhere in this story.
Very, very, very drunk.
So here's the thing. I don't know if he was drunk, high, what.
But
it had to have been something. Because I'm amazing. I am. I wouldn't say that you need to be on my porch for 4 hours at 11 to 2 o'clock in the morning for nothing. Like, I don't get the motivation there. But at some point during the night, apparently his wallet was stolen or his phone was stolen, and that's why he was on his watch. So he's asking the police for a ride so he could actually get home. He couldn't get home because he had asked me if I would take him home. And I was like, I'm not getting in the car with you. I'm not going anywhere with you. And he was like, well, I don't have, he said, that's what it was. He had cash, but he didn't have his wallet. So he couldn't do Uber or whatever. And I had just had somebody try to use my card on something, so I couldn't use my card. I was like, actually, I can't. I'm like, but you can call a cab. They'll take cash. I'm like, but you can call a cab and they'll take cash. He's like, you really not? I'm like, I'm not going anywhere with you. I don't feel safe. Oh my God, you don't feel safe. I would never do anything to you. All this stuff, right? Now, meanwhile, I don't know the other side of this story of what happened before I woke up and was talking to him. Because apparently my tenant tells me the next day that they had opened the door and were like, dude, she's either not home, doesn't want you to be here, you need to go. Like, what are you doing? Like, he was knocking, like banging on the door. Then apparently he went to the side door. Like, yeah, it was ridiculous. So all of that to say, I felt that was the level of crazy that you don't block because I need to know if I'm on your mind and you might show up at my house being crazy. But I will say with NOPD, one, thank you for showing up. But two, they never laid eyes on me. Like, they never like had me come to the door to verify that this voice on his watch was the person they were coming to check on. Or they never went to my tenant to be like, hey, we know you called, like, we're here and addressing your issue.
Interesting.
Yeah.
This is all very interesting. This is all very, very interesting. So I wonder, for anyone who might be listening, what would you say that you learned from that?
Look, okay, at my core, I am trusting and naive, I will say, in those instances, because obviously now it's like, oh, you don't have people pick you up at your house. Even though I feel like I should be able to have somebody pick me up at my house and like wine and dine me and be romantical without having to worry about you coming back to murder. Although I did watch Woman of the Hour the other day with Anna Kendrick. You see that? Where it's like basically about the story about this serial killer, and he winds up on the dating show, and she winds up going out with this man. It's crazy. So they've been trying to kill us forever. But I still feel like I should feel safe. I should be safe. But anyway, yeah. So don't have anybody coming out. But either way, I still feel like at that time it had been from August to December. So at some point you would have been to my house by now. I had no idea that level of
he would have went to jail that night.
She's like,
and I believe in actions of consequences. And especially like, I mentioned earlier that I was in an abusive relationship. Having spared people from the consequences of their actions, I ain't about that no more.
Yeah.
I bet you won't show up at nobody else's house for 4 hours on the whatever. And if you do I bet you'll be going back to jail again. I don't know that man. I don't know why he's here. I don't know. That's crazy.
I know.
That's crazy for real.
Yeah.
But still, after that, you didn't block him because you said you wanted to know if he
if he randomly popped up and was like at least I would be like, oh, okay, like I just need to be on my P's and Q's instead of every day. Like he could just show up anywhere. I don't know. And in my mind, it made sense.
So I don't have to worry about where you at. I know where you at.
Oh my God.
Oh, sweet Jesus. See, that's something that will we gonna close on this. Because crossing a boundary, I don't like I'm at the point right now where when you cross a small boundary, negatory, we're done here. Because what that's showing me is if you're willing to do that, which is so simple, that you don't know how to take no for an answer. You don't know how to, so I just be like, and good night.
Right.
So I had told you about Mr. Ice Cream Man.
That's exactly who I was thinking of right now.
That I had gone, this dude that I met that I went to get some ice cream with. And we were going to go and like look at the view of the city or whatever. But it had started raining. So, and we're riding on his bike. So we stop on the side of the interstate because it's raining, right? So everybody else that's on bikes and they get into their gear and all that kind of stuff. But so then we start going again and then it starts raining again. So we stop at another place. And before I went out with this man, I said, hey, I'm not about to kiss you. I'm not here. We're going to get ice cream. That's it.
Lips not on the menu.
Ice cream. That's it. Right? And if we want to go see the view of the city, fine. But I'm not kissing you. I'm not here for that. And he tried to kiss me. And I was done. I said, I'm going to go home now. And he's been in the archives talking to himself ever since.
Talking to himself.
Because you got me fucked up. Like that's very simple. Like you can't honor that. But what I see, a lot of people will ask for forgiveness versus asking for consent.
Right.
And that is so twisted to me because if you would literally just ask for consent, you would know the answer to your question, and you don't have to worry about somebody slapping you because you crossed the boundary. Like there's a very easy way to figure out if it's okay.
Right. And then abide by the response.
And then abide. So I haven't blocked him yet because I like to be able, because I like to tell these full stories. So I like to be able to access the full story. And sometimes when you block it, it don't give you access like you need to. So he's still over there talking to himself. But I believe in the I don't. There have been so many stories that we're gonna have to unpack on the Patreon because it's been so many that I'm just like, I can't. I have to have a very firm no. Like I've learned to have a very firm no with no nicety, with no smile, no.
Right.
No
is the full sentence.
And what I notice is many are not used to receiving that no.
Correct.
And then they get all like, then you shouldn't have made me feel that way. So now you go deal with how you feel about that. I don't care. Because you shouldn't have made me feel that way for me to have to damn near scream no.
Right.
You know, it's interesting. It's very interesting. Wow. Well, I'm glad you're still here, ma'am.
Lord have mercy.
That you didn't get burgled or murdered.
Right.
That was a real event there, huh? So no mercy.
No mercy.
No mercy. Dating Chronicles. Okay. Did we want to do one Ask An Auntie before we go?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do a quick one.
All right. Let's do a quick Ask An Auntie. And again, Ask An Auntie is our segment where we give advice. So you all are able to write in and let us know what you think. If you go to tinyurl.com/Ask An Auntie. And we will respond to your dilemma or your question or your ask for advice.
All right, so you can pick. There is a relationship question, and then there is, I guess, under adulting, general adulting question.
Okay.
What would you pick?
Let's go with adulting. We've done relationships.
All right.
Yeah.
Aunties, I need your help. I moved into a new apartment and the property manager seems to take pleasure in being mean and disrespectful. Well, actually, they said that out loud. At times, they laugh in my face and brag about how they are in charge. I just want to have peace and not cause any problems. I'm frustrated and overwhelmed. Any advice you can give would be helpful. All right, so we have a disrespectful property manager who takes pleasure in that disrespect and has stated as much to this person's face, and feel like they're in charge and nothing can happen. And this person wants to keep the peace and not cause any issues, but they're frustrated. What advice would you have for them?
That is really wild. First, I want to say thank you for submitting your question or your dilemma. And I'm sorry that you're having to deal with that. I really am somebody who believes that peace should be attached to home.
Yes.
And you deserve to have peace. The first thing that came to my mind is something that Bianca would say. People lie. Receipts don't.
Amen.
Documentation is going to be really powerful, depending on what state you're in, assuming this is coming from the US.
Right.
But depending on what your laws are, what your local laws are, you may be able to record. I would record anyway, even if you can't use it later. But in some states, it's only one party consent. So that means that as long as you know that you're recording, that is fine. But I would record it anyway, because especially in this age of social media and accountability, stuff like this, it's even with documentation, it'd be hard to hold people accountable, right? So I definitely think I would urge this person to document every interaction. And I know that might feel like overboard, but even if that documentation is just getting a notebook and being like, you know, we talked about
this is what we discussed.
Yeah, because you never know how people are, especially if they're at the point where they are laughing in your face and like thinking this is a game and a joke and stuff like that. They're incredibly disrespectful. So I would need you to protect yourself. So documentation is the first thing that I would think of. What you think?
Yeah, no, I would stop any interactions with them that weren't in writing.
Anyway.
Because then that way you're not subjecting yourself to that interaction. And then you get that documentation piece, and just, you know, then you can really see how big and bold they think they are, because they are also aware that it is in writing in this document. So that would be my first step. Would be they would not have access to talk to me anymore.
Yeah, and then I would also say start looking for somewhere else. To live.
When is that, Lisa?
Yeah.
And what is the cost
of breaking
it?
Yeah.
Because sometimes your piece is worth the cost.
Correct.
More times than not, your piece is worth the cost.
Correct.
Because you don't know what that leaves you open to further down the road. And if this is how comfortable they feel to laugh in your face and tell you like, oh, I know I'm in charge, that feels like a safety issue. That feels like a threat to me. I would need to remove myself from that situation.
I agree. So find out how much it costs to break your lease, and, you know, maybe like save up to that. Be looking for another place. I would also say a lot of times when this is not just about apartments, but just like in general, we can sometimes comport ourselves very, how do I want to say, like it's an emergency, like we need them.
Right.
You know, like, and I'm in such an emergency, like I just need somewhere to be, like type of thing like that. If you can keep yourself out of those types of situations, of course, that's going to be best. But if you are in a situation where there's like an urgent need, I would say try not to communicate that in a way where they feel like they have the upper hand on you.
Right.
So when you're looking for your next place to live, right, you want to ask questions about culture and dynamics and start documenting early,
right.
And
reporting authorities, like what is my recourse as a consumer, just to have an idea of what that is.
Yeah, what happens if someone is disrespectful? What is your policy regarding respecting your tenants? Like, I would be asking questions like that, because that can give you a lot of indications, as to how people are. And also looking really well with the reviews online and seeing what people say. Like, if you see instances, even for me, like if I see an instance where only one or two people say something like that, that would be enough. That's for enough. Me.
Yeah, because a lot of times, even especially like we would use this more in like sales, even with Best Buy, is that like people who have good experiences don't normally say anything. They just have a good experience and they go. They go about their business. And then people who have bad experiences, more times than not, will just say, I choose not to do this anymore. And then they just go. And then you have the smaller subset that says, I need to go online, make this public, tell everybody about it. So even if you only saw 2 bad reviews, for all you know, there's 50 people who had the same experience
that
didn't get on Yelp or just didn't get on Google and leave a review about it. So take those big reviews and go, you know what? There's something here.
Yeah.
There's smoke, so there's fire somewhere.
That's good. I would use that in everything. Shoot, because even like I could see an Airbnb and they have like one, bad review or whatever, or 2, and it's like, oh, maybe, but there's something to that.
Yeah.
And how would I feel if that particular situation happened to me? Does that bring me joy? If it don't, it's a no.
Do it.
Right?
It's a no.
So yeah, you all that are watching and those of y'all that watch in the replay, give your advice as well. What would you do in this situation? What other tips do you have about how to stay out of a situation like this, especially where you might be living?
Yeah.
Okay, because that is not what life is supposed to be like. Okay. So wishing you the best of luck. If you want to write to us again and give us an update, we would totally appreciate that. And if you all have any dilemmas or questions that you want to submit, again, go to tinyurl.com /ask an auntie.
TIE.
TIE. I didn't really realize that people spell that
AUNTY
so differently. And I also didn't realize that people spell mama
so many different ways.
I did not.
How do you spell mama?
MAMA.
Yeah.
But people spell it MOMMA. And then I've also seen MOMA.
Yeah. I don't see that one.
I've seen it.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
And it tripped me out.
Yeah. That's a different one.
Yeah.
But yeah, mama, definitely. And then that's when I knew, I was like, oh, I guess I need to tell them how to spell auntie.
Yeah. So auntie, AUNTIE. Okay.
There you go.
All right. So that's all we're gonna do for today, y'all. We've been on here, we've been hanging out and stuff, and
gabbing.
Gabbing it up. One of these days we're gonna get to all our segments.
We do have multiple segments.
We really do. We be having things that are
I feel like the things that we did were the things that needed to be said.
Amen.
And that's what it was.
Amen. Amen. So next time we will intentionally make sure that we update you all on our Krafty Cousins. Yes. We are still working on mood painting and mood blanket. Yes. So we'll be sure to update you all on that, as well as the rabbit holes that we have been diving down. We gave y'all some, but it's always something else. F that Bluetooth, bro.
We've been having some Bluetooth issues, both of us.
And if you have a recommendation, a Bluetooth that actually stays in your ear and allows you to talk to other people for Android and iPhone, please send the recommendations our way, because we out here struggling.
It's rough.
Oh Lord,
Bluetooth streets.
I'm
telling you right now.
Tell the people where they can find you. Y'all gonna see that thing pop up on the screen again. Just ignore it, okay?
You can find me on YouTube at under Minding My Black Ass Business in the Content Kalonda playlist. You can find me on Instagram at KawanaBear, KAWANABEAR. I have since made that public. Oh, snap. And you can find me on Cash App at $Kalonda, KALONDA. Feel free to make any donations you like, especially towards the Bluetooth front, because Lord knows that has been a trial.
Sure.
And then when all else fails, you can find me right here at the
So then y'all can find me over at KimberlandJackson.com. Kimberland J on Instagram, and Kimberland is KimberlandJ at gmail.com. I'm Lord Jesus, that's my email. That's if you want email, but email me too. Kimberland J on Instagram, and Minding My Black Ass Business on all platforms. And then you can find both of us on Patreon at Minding My Black Ass Business. Our Patreon gets behind the scenes. They get updates. They get to chat with us. It is a community that we are building, and it's only $5 a month. That's it.
It's like free.
That's it, y'all. Okay. So, I did want to do an update. We have 742 subscribers on our YouTube page. So we are heading towards 1,000. We need your support. Okay.
Thank you.
Tell 5 people. Come subscribe, okay? So when we hit 1,000, y'all, we're gonna do a twerk party, all right? We finna throw that ass all over the place, all right? So
Glorilla has the soundtrack for it. Don't you worry.
Okay. So we're gonna get a little routine and okay. So we're on the way to that. So we would love for you all to help us again. Subscribing to the page is a very free FREE way for you to be able to help us. So we do ask, like, comment, subscribe, share. And we appreciate y'all for hanging out with us and being a part of our community. It is a pleasure, and we don't take it lightly at all. Okay. All right. So having said that, we'll be back in 2 weeks. What's the date? What's the next time?
November. It's already November, y'all. I believe.
God, that's crazy. Oh, that's Casey's birthday.
November 3rd.
November 3rd. That's Kanisha's birthday.
Our cousins. We're cousins.
We're cousins. So we're talking about our cousins. But anyway, so we'll be back on Sunday, November 3rd. Until then, keep talking to us in the comments. And we love y'all. So be safe. Okay. All right. Okay. Bye.